As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you one of my favorite keywords that capitalizes on this concept. And you're gonna see items that would otherwise be thrown away selling for 50, 60, 70, even $100+. So hang tight and we'll dive on in. If you're new here, then welcome to the channel. My name is Lee Meyer. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4, and I've made well over $100,000 flipping used clothes and other items on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And now I'm on a mission to help at least 1,000 resellers be able to hit that $100,000 mark for themselves. To help you out, I've got a ton of free goodies. You're gonna wanna check them out down here in the description below this video. One of those that you're not going to want to miss out on is my free keywords list. You're also not going to want to miss out on my free $100,000 reseller challenge. In that free challenge, I show you exactly how to hit $100,000 for yourself this year. And I show you how to do it in very minimal time, very part-time hours. It's not about hustling harder. It's not about putting in more time. And in that free challenge, you're also going to discover the very best things to be selling right now in today's market. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the topic of this video. And this is one of my favorite keywords because it takes items that would otherwise be thrown away and makes them desirable, makes buyers want them. This is actually a keyword that people are searching for, that people are paying big money for. And this is gonna allow you to source items that you might otherwise pass over, even items that you would throw away yourself. And so this keyword that we are going to be discussing is the keyword that is called thrashed. This is what I call a high value keyword because people are paying so much money for these thrashed items. Now, real quick, what is thrashed? Thrashed is an amalgamation of the words thrifted and trashed. And the items that you're about to see are going to shock you because they may look like they need thrown in the trash, and buyers are paying shocking amounts for these on every platform. Depop, Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, wherever it is that you sell, there is a demand for these garbage items. All right, you are gonna be shocked, hopefully as much as I was. I had so much fun putting this video together for you. And I've heard from the last few videos that I've done, when I show items like this that are in throwaway condition, some of you are saying that those are not real sales. And I'm about to prove that wrong. There is a huge, huge market for these types of items. So I did go ahead and pull up items that match the keyword thrashed. So again, that is an amalgamation of thrifted and trashed items. And there are a total of 21,000 items that are currently listed. These are not sold items, but I did go ahead and filter that down to sold items. I already got that pulled up here for you. And there are 4,300 items that are showing sold that match that keyword thrashed. And this is just on eBay alone. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these items that are selling. So I've got this first one here for you. We're also going to be talking about some other keywords that really relate to this thrashed keyword. And with this t-shirt, you're seeing a lot of sun fading. So that is another keyword to be on the lookout for. That is something to be on the lookout for when you're out sourcing items, is actually sun faded items, in addition to paint. So I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see just how much paint is over the bottom of that t-shirt. There's even maybe like a bleach stain there on this t-shirt. Here's what the back looks like. That's sun faded, but not quite so much paint as the front has. And it is from Mexico, so it's got that fish there. But with these aren't necessarily about the brand. You're going to see some brands repeating over and over again in this video. There is what that brand tag looks like. That one is sold for $45 in that condition that you may have otherwise passed over, or even have thrown away in your garbage can. This next item is a snap shirt from Wrangler. So there is the tag there. Definitely a vintage item with this one. This one is not quite in throwaway condition, but it does have several flaws. So here you're seeing a seam gap there at the pocket where that thread is coming loose. Across the pocket is that W where that is coming loose. This one also does have some paint and stains as well as some holes starting there. There's another hole in the arm sleeve there. Some bleach spots, it looks like, on the back of that shirt. That one sold for $50 in that condition. Here is a sweatshirt. So let me go ahead and show you some of the pictures on these. So it's got some bleach spots. It's got a little hole there in the sleeve. It's got some large bleach stains down the body of this sweatshirt. And there's the tag there. So definitely a vintage tag, but that one sold for $55. This is a jacket. I'm going to show you what this looks like, but I wanted to show the tag first there. But this is a suede jacket. Now, it doesn't look too bad from this picture, but actually that arm has a ton of bleaching, a ton of fading along the whole length of that arm. There's a little bit closer look there for you. That sold for $78 using that keyword thrashed. Here's Hanes beefy t-shirt. Now wait till you see this one. With this one is a feral cat coalition, and you can see across the front here that there's all kinds of stains. There's also a large hole. Here's a couple little smaller holes up there. Here's what this looks like. So it's got a cat there on the front. You can also see that it's got heavy bleaching under the arms. The back here, it says homeless and stray, and then neuter and spay, and then a phone number to call. This t-shirt sold for $45. We got a pair of Carhartt jeans here. This is a brand that you're going to see repeating over and over again when it comes to this thrashed condition. I'm not going to be showing the tags on it for every Carhartt item, but look at this one. This one, those double knees are actually pulling away here the top of where that double knee starts. It's got holes in the crotch of all places. It's got fraying down here at the cuffs. There's that tag picture real quick there for you. Those sold for $150. This is another Carhartt item. This is a jacket where there is heavy fraying on that sleeve. This one also, by the way, does have a logo here on it. Don't worry about those logos. Those mean literally nothing. It's got few stains here at the back of the shoulder as well as another hole. This one is actually not in too bad of condition. That one sold for $150. This next item is another t-shirt that has paint all over it. From Gildan, it is a 2XL. You're seeing some fraying as well as some small holes there, the neckline. There is that t-shirt with the paint on it, as well as some small holes and some other stains. And this is from, believe Wilco Marine is what it says there on the front as well as the back. That one sold for $70 using that thrashed keyword. This is another Carhartt item. This one is in very poor condition. You're seeing there this large hole that's worn through the zipper. Here's another hole in the shoulder area there. There's what the sleeves look like. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit there for you. So that sleeve is almost all the way worn through, as well as that other sleeve. And this jacket in that condition sold for $100. This next one is actually a Polo Ralph Lauren. So I'm going to see if I can get a little bit better view of that tag there. It's at the bottom of your screen here, Polo by Ralph Lauren. You can see that it's completely worn all the way through the hood, the lining in that hood. There are some holes there around the edge of that jacket. This one also has heavy paint stains as well as maybe sun fading or bleach marks there down the front of the jacket. There's a better look at those sleeves. This one in that condition sold for $120. Got a Gildan t-shirt here for you. This is an extra large. Zoom in on that tag. It is a made in Mexico item. So this isn't, a made in USA item or anything like that. Here's what that looks like. It's got a large hole up there at the collar of the neck. It's got some stains here. It's got some small holes in it. There's what that looks like. Oh, and sold for $100. I do want to quickly point out a couple of the keywords. So they did use sun faded as well as gradient. So you're going to see that in a lot of the items that are selling, as well as this keyword of paper thin. So just wait till you see some of the other items that are using that paper thin keyword. This is a overall from a brand that is called Pointer brand. This is a vintage item. This one has a lot of staining throughout the leg. So I wanted to show this one because it's not just Carhartt items that are selling in this condition. So there is that Pointer brand tag that is a made in the USA brand. That one sold for $49. This is a liquid blue t-shirt. So there's the tag there. If you have not seen liquid blue, that is a very prominent, very profitable brand when it comes to vintage items. But this t-shirt, it looks like this has not been natural thrashing or wearing, but it looks like somebody's actually cut into this one. So I do want to make that distinction here. So you can see there at the shoulder, there's a little bit more at the shoulder, and you can see there across the back of the item, all of the holes. You can see that that big U is cut into the shape of the neck there. That one sold for $40. This next item is a pair of jeans, and this one has a lot of holes and patchwork. You can't see them all here. You can kind of make them out a little bit, but I'll show you a better picture of just how many holes are in this pair of jeans. They actually do have a picture of the inside of the jeans where you can see those patches. This is at the cuff of the jeans. You can see that there is a large hole worn through. There's another one in the other cuff. So both cuffs do have that heavy wear, but here are those patches. So the picture, is from the inside of the jeans. They were turned inside out, so that those patches could be better seen. You're even seeing a hole right there at the crotch of those jeans. These are a Levi's orange tab jean. By the way, there are lots of these selling in this condition. This one sold for $85. Now, this next item, this is another Carhartt with heavy wear, heavy grease stains. You're seeing all of the stains there, all of the fraying. That one sold for $175. Real quick, I want to mention my style keyword poster because it specifically covers aesthetic-based keywords, just like this thrashed keyword you're seeing, along with 79 other keywords that buyers are out there searching for. This next is a t-shirt from Russell Athletics, so that's definitely a vintage tag that you are seeing there, but this one is in awful condition. Here on the back, it says Larry, and it looks like they were in rainbow colors, and those have worn off. You can see those huge holes in the armpits there, as well as in those sleeves. This one also has a ton of staining, as well as some holes in the body of this. And this is actually Kawasaki. Most of those letters are worn off there. That one sold for $75. I want to do mention that these are sold items. These are not just listed items. And I have hand selected items where a best offer was not accepted. If a best offer was accepted, I will point that out. And that will say here there will be a strike through that price when a best offer is accepted. It will also say best offer accepted. So know that these are the actual prices that these items are selling for. This is a pair of Carhartt jeans here. I had to show these because these are completely worn through in those double knees. So you may come across Carhartt like this and see that the knees are worn out and go, okay, I'm going to pass that, not worth it. That one sold for $75. And this isn't just like one or two items selling. There are tons selling in this condition. This item, this one actually had 3 bids on it. Unfortunately, they only have one. Let's take more than one photo. This is worn through completely in that sleeve. There's paint on the sleeve, bleaching on the sleeve, fading on the sleeves. That one had 3 bids. That one went for $42. So if you could pick that up for a couple dollars, maybe somebody's even throwing it away at a garage sale. $40 in your pocket for garbage. This one, This is another t-shirt. This is actually cut off where they cut off the sleeves. And this is from, I believe, a band called Converge. But I'm zooming in here so you can see all of those holes. So you can see those stainings. So you can see that bleaching there. There's the back of the shirt. There's what the front of the shirt looks like. But that one sold for $100. And there's tons of different band tees that are selling for a ton of money in this condition. So do not be afraid to pick these items that are garbage. This is a brand, I believe that this is called Allure. So there's is the tag zoomed in there for you. It's nothing special. This is not a band tee. This is not any sort of big name. There's no, nothing on this. But this one has a ton of stains on it, as well as blue. I'm assuming that must be paint. So there's some more of those blue markings there on this. There's the back of that shirt. That t-shirt in that condition sold for $43. Got a pair of Levi's silver tap shorts here for you. These are not too bad. The back isn't too bad. Most of the wear there is on the leg of the jeans. So you can see there at the center of each leg how much that's worn, especially that left leg that is very, very worn off almost. That one sold for $42. This next item is one of those paper thin t-shirts that I mentioned a little bit ago. And this one also has a lot of holes in it. It's got that sleeve there, most completely ripped off. It's got a hole there, a couple of holes there at the neckline, as well as holes there at the back of the neck. That one, you see the price on this one? This one's over $135. I want to quickly point out some of these other keywords. We're using zombie, as well as super thrashed, and again, that paper thin, as well as blank, because there is nothing else on that t-shirt. This one, this is a no fear item. Says, what are you, a man or a mouse? There is the back of the item. You're seeing some holes there up at that collar. Hopefully you saw the holes here in that photo. Here's the front of the item. There's a couple of small holes here where it says no fear. That one sold for $45. Got a sweatshirt here for you. This is at the center of the sweatshirt, at the front of the sweatshirt. Hopefully you can see that hole there, how big it is, as well as that paint. There they put their fingers in there so you can get a little bit better glimpse of just how big that hole is. There it is at the center of that sweatshirt. That one sold for $45. Got another destroyed Levi's jacket here. The sleeve is completely worn away. You're looking at the lining of that jacket. It looks to be a blanket lining, as well as this is completely, it's just shredded. I don't even know if thrashed is the right word for this one. There is the back of that jacket. It does look like dirt stains as well. That one sold for $55. Got another Carhartt item. There are lots of these, by the way, in this cream colored or whitish off-white color that are selling that have a lot of staining. So if you come across these items that are dirty, do not be afraid to pick them up. Here you're seeing a lot of fraying there at the bottom of the jacket, in addition to that just kind of overall dirtiness and stains. There's the back of the vest with a few stains there as well. That one sold for $60. Now they did put the condition as fair, so make sure that you mark that, especially on eBay, especially since eBay has updated their item conditions. Make sure that you put that as, in the poorest condition that you can, because you don't want to get in trouble for over promising on these items. But really, people are after this look. They're after the stains. They're after the tears. They're after the holes. This is a Bob Dylan t-shirt, and with this one has just some overall bleaching to it. You can see a little bit better on this bigger picture, the bleaching here, bleaching on the sleeves, bleaching up here along that neckline. That one sold for $40. This next one is another Carhartt that is in really bad condition. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on that kangaroo pocket there for you. But you can see that that is pretty much gone. It's pretty much pointless at that point to even have a pocket there. You can see those sleeves there. Like half of the sleeve is about to come off. This one, a best offer was accepted. It was listed at $90, but I did go ahead and look that up for you. Let me move my face there. That is that same exact item. That one sold for $55 plus shipping. This next one is another t-shirt, and you can see how the neck is almost coming off there on both the front and the back. It says Demon something marching band there on it. This one is a champion t-shirt, by the way. So there is the tag there for you. That one sold for $90. So you're seeing thrashed as well as distressed there in the title of that item. This one is another Pointer brand item. Again, a made in the USA vintage brand. This one is a hickory stripe jacket. And check out the arms on these, the sleeves on those. So that sleeve has that hole. Over here on that sleeve, pretty much half of that lower sleeve is gone. That one sold for $70. This next one is a t-shirt by a brand that is called Tribal. This is definitely a Y2K look for this item. You're seeing a hole there as well as there, as well as some wear there along the edge of that hood. This one's not in too bad of condition. We've definitely seen worse with this one. It does look like there's some wear there, some holes there on that sleeve, but that one sold for $100. This next one is a Oz Fest t-shirt. This one definitely has some sun fading going on it. There on the back is where it says Oz Fest. And you can see a little bit more of the sun fading there, as well as that has some holes. There is the brand tag. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that one. It says T America. That one sold for $100. Now you're seeing some of these say out of stock instead of the sold, but that is a sold item. But you don't have to be dependent just on Banties. This is actually an Elmo t-shirt. So you're seeing Elmo there on the front of this. You're also seeing some stains. I'm not sure if those are paint. You're seeing holes there at the top of the shoulder, a hole there at the armpit. There's that hole again at the top of the shoulder. And so this t-shirt sold for $40 for that condition. That one in even worse condition, but this is a unique design where this is actually a double layer. So you're seeing blue and then yellow underneath. You're seeing stains. Like, check out those stains at the bottom of that t-shirt. There's some more there for you. This one looks like a dog, like maybe bit off that sleeve there, right? That one sold for $50 for that condition. Got a pair of Abercrombie and Fitch cargo shorts. With this one, these are not too bad, but they do have some wearing through there. They also have some holes there at the pocket as well as the corners of those cargo pockets there. Got maybe a little bit of a stain here as well as some more of those wear holes. Those sold for $45. This next one is a Green Day t-shirt. There's the front of it. There's the back side of that t-shirt. That one sold for $150. So definitely be on the lookout for these thrashed items when it comes to these band tees. With this one, this is a Lee jacket that somebody actually added a bunch of patches to. This one does have some wear around the neck of that jacket. So you're seeing how that top layer of the denim is completely worn through. There's a little bit of wear here at one of the sleeves, but overall this jacket isn't in too bad a condition, but that one sold for $100. Got another pair of Carhartt double knee jeans with these. They don't have too many stains or holes, but they do have that bleaching and that fading. With this one, it was listed for $100, but a best offer was accepted, and I did go ahead and look that up for you. That one sold for $85 for that item. Now, this is a pair of Dickies. I know that we've looked at a lot of Carhartt jeans, but this is Dickies, obviously used by a painter. Check out the back of that where they've been wiping their hands. All different kinds of paint colors there, by the way. And the front of those jeans, those ones sold for $45 in that condition. If you know some painters, you know you have some money on your hands. Speaking of paint, check out these Carhartt overalls. I believe that these were actually cut off. I don't believe that Carhartt actually makes shorts like these. Again, heavy paint on those. They were painting with white, it looks like. Those sold for $150. Got another pair of Carhartt item jeans here, double knee jeans, where those are completely worn through that double knee. You're seeing even up there at the hip that is almost completely all the way worn through. Those sold for $43. Now, Carhartt's a really solid brand. If you're interested in other really solid men's brands, you're going to want to check out my Big Money Brands men's guide. I'm going to link to that over there for you. Got another Carhartt item. I did mention these lighter colored or off-white, now kind of dingy brown, but these are selling. You can see all of that paint, some paint sprinkles, it looks like there on the sleeve of the jacket. Along the bottom of that jacket, there's heavy fraying as well as at those sleeve cuffs. That one sold for $60. Got another Carhartt item. I had to show this one. This has got some holes there. It's also got a large stain at the center of the jacket. I'm not sure if that's a cigar. I'm not sure what did that. Also, the sleeves on this one are really in bad condition. So we got one sleeve there. There was another sleeve over on this side where that is worn probably about halfway around that sleeve about to come off. That one had one bid on it, by the way. So there is that one bid. That one sold for $60. This next item is a Budweiser t-shirt. This one has heavy fading. You can't see a whole lot anymore on this jacket or on this t-shirt. Here's some of the stains. They're at the bottom of that. Very, very just kind of dingy looking t-shirt. That one sold for $59. This one is from Camel Cigarette Company. It says the hard pack. So there is the front of that shirt. You're seeing maybe some paint stains there across the front. There's a couple more views of that. And then there is the back of that t-shirt, what that looks like. Again, there are those paint stains. That one sold for $65. Got a Betty Boop t-shirt here. This one's got holes in it. It's got stains. Got some more holes there. And that one sold for $50 using that thrashed keyword. Here's another one of those blank t-shirts, paper thin. And with this one has a ton of staining just all over, just kind of dirty, right? You look at that and you just think dirty. You probably think that needs to be thrown in the trash can, but the seller decided to list it. Here is the top of the shoulder. There's the sleeve. You can see, just how dirty that is. That one sold for $40. Now, that one is a vintage. It's approximately from the 60s, so you do need to keep that in mind with these. You can't just take a brand new t-shirt, destroy it, and then it's going to sell for a lot of money. This is a sweatshirt. And this was actually a reverse weave. So let me go ahead and zoom in on that reverse weave. So you can see that the ribbing of that runs this way instead of the typical up and down on the body of that sweatshirt. But you're seeing there at the bottom that one has a lot of staining there. You're seeing here at the center, you're seeing some holes at the neck. Let me see if I can get a better picture of that neck there for you. So you can see how heavily worn that is there at the collar of the neck. This sweatshirt from Champion. This one sold for $60. Again, this is one of their reverse weave sweatshirts. Got another Carhartt jacket here for you. This is actually a pretty good angle to be able to see what is going on here. So this one actually has the entire kangaroo pocket ripped off here. You're seeing the kind of remnants of where it was originally sewn on. You're seeing some holes there on the sleeve. Check out the cuff of that, where that is completely, almost worn all the way through. Just heavy, heavy fraying on those sleeve cuffs. That one sold for $75, by the way. This one is another t-shirt. This is from the band Creed. With this one, there is bleach stains on it as well as holes. You're looking at the armpit there. It's also got some little holes across the front of that item. That one sold for $70. This next one is another one of those paper thin t-shirts. This is from the brand Jockey, so definitely a vintage tag when you're looking at that there. Got you zoomed in on the tag, so hopefully you saw that. This one has some little holes all over it. It's got a few stains there. It's got some stains there at the top of the shoulder, top of the sleeve. That one sold for $125. Now, I wanted to take a second to invite you to check out the Empowered Reseller membership program. This is where I'm able to personally connect with VIPs. It's where I'm able to answer questions. It's where I'm even able to do things like store reviews, account reviews, listing reviews for my members. I'm live each and every month inside of my membership to be able to do live trainings with my members. It comes with a huge course master vault, as well as you get access to our exclusive VIP community for accountability. It's not just eBay where thrashed items are selling. This is over here on Poshmark. I want to show you a few items. Unfortunately, there's not a way to be able to see a number of how many items are selling, but there are a ton items here when I go ahead and put in thrashed as well as filter down to sold items. Here's a pair of Carhartt, just similar condition to what we saw on eBay. Those sold for $115. Got a t-shirt here from BMX. This one sold for $100. You're noticing that it has that gradient sun fading, so it would be another keyword to use with this one. Got a t-shirt where those sleeves have been cut off. Again, WWF is this one. That one sold for $100. Got a Woolrich jacket here. I'm going to zoom in on that so you can see the stains there at the front of the jacket. That one sold for $120. Now, these Jesus t-shirts are super popular. People are paying a lot of money for these, even if they have holes. So you're seeing a hole there in the armpit, another hole. Back says, I am the way. The front of it has Jesus there. That one sold for $45. I've seen some from that style selling for few $100. This is a sweatshirt. So this one has a little bit of staining there on the sleeve. It's got a little bit of staining here for the body, but this is actually a, I believe Miller Lite is this one. That one sold for $65. Got a Hollister sweatshirt. This one is mostly factory thrashing, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that. If you haven't seen that before, that's what that looks like. These are actually made that way, but this one does have the addition the hole here next to that cross. And then that one sold for $50 in that condition. Here's a Black Sabbath t-shirt. Again, the sleeves are cut off. There's heavy frame, heavy wear. There's a rip there at the neckline of that. There's a hole there down at the bottom. That one sold for $175. Real quick, I want to mention my starter kit. This has everything you need to get and running. If you're brand new to reselling, this has everything you need. I'm going to link to that over here. This is a Ford Racing t-shirt. This one has all over stains on it. That one sold for $45 for that t-shirt. This is a Stussy hoodie. It's got black paint here at the front of that jacket, as well as frame, or I should say hoodie. That one sold for $150. This is a Seattle t-shirt, so it doesn't even have to be any sort of big name brand. So there it says Seattle, Washington. With this one has heavy wear at the cuffs. So check that out. Those cuffs are almost coming off there, as well as fraying there at the bottom. That one sold for $80 in that condition. You're seeing some of the fraying there along the hood of the jacket. This is a NASCAR speed racer. You're seeing the dirt on this, the dirt stains on this. This is a Tooltex, by the way. That one sold for $72. That was a made in Mexico. And this is a Wrangler snap shirt. So you're seeing a hole there at the sleeve, another hole there at the bottom. This one is in pretty good condition. There's a hole there at the center where the snap is. There's a little bit of fraying there at that pocket. That one sold for $45. Got a Jimmy Buffett t-shirt. This one has that fading. It looks like it used to be black. Now it's gray. That one sold for $55. I do want to quickly mention my listing cards. This makes it super quick to get through your listings. Have a place to write down your measurements, any flaws. I'm going to link to that resource over there for you. Got another t-shirt. This one says Jan, lots of time acres. It says trailer park tee. This one sold for $50. I'm going to zoom in on that neckline there for you. So you're seeing some holes there at the neck, hole there at that shoulder. Again, $50 for that item in that condition. This one is an O'Neill sweatshirt. It's got a grease stain or oil stain there. It's got the sleeves coming off. It's got some paint stains on it. That one sold for $50. Got a Steeler sweatshirt. Same thing where the sleeves are about to come off. Even the bottom cuff of that sweatshirt is about to come off. Got some fraying there around that emblem. It's got some holes there in that neckline. That one sold for $67. Got a Philadelphia Eagles. This one has paint on it. It's got stains on it. There are some of the stains there. That one sold for $200. Got a Carhartt jacket here. This one's got some paint, as well as it's got that logo. Don't be afraid of those logos, by the way. I think I've mentioned that already. That one sold for $99. Got another pair of Carhartt jeans there. Those sold for $45 with paint on them. Got another Carhartt. Got all the way worn through to that blanket lining there on the sleeves. It's got heavy dirt there at those sleeve cuffs. That was sold for $101. Now, this is a really cool habit tracker. I'm going to link to that resource over here. This is a way to be able to keep track of your progress, your listing progress, and being able to be consistent, because that's really what it is about with reselling, is being consistent and having that accountability. So this is another Carhartt jacket that I had to show. This one has heavy dirt stains on it. That one sold for $93. Got a Mazda workwear shirt here. This one looks like it has white paint splattered all across the front of this jacket, as well as that, the name there, Ron. That one sold for $45. There's some more of the paint there. This is another Carhartt jacket that's completely thrashed. It's completely worn all the way through. Bottom of that. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that for you. Those sleeve cuffs, completely worn all the way through. That one sold for $48. Got another Carhartt jacket here with heavy grease stain. I can remember coming home and putting Dawn, just soaking these in Dawn, trying to get this all out. You don't have to do that anymore. People are buying this. It was $60 for that condition. Now, these are shoes. So I wanted to show some shoes, because it's not just coats and jackets that are selling in thrash condition. These are actually a pair of shoes, and they actually don't even match. Person says, I like to mix and match shoes. So they got one pair that is black and one pair that is animal print. Heavy dirt on these. These got some rips there on the side. There's that rip there on the side. That sold for $54. Got a pair of Vans in thrash condition. They're just pretty dirty. I don't see a lot of holes or rips to those, but those sold for $45. Got another pair of Carhartt with those holes worn into the knee of those jeans. Those sold for $60. I do want to quickly mention my shoe poster. My passed over that really quick. So I'm going to link to that over here, but that has all of the keywords related to the different styles of shoes. And this is another Carhartt jacket I had to show, because this one just has a huge rip in the sleeve of that. It's got, those cuffs coming off. Again, you've seen tons of those. That sold for $50 on Poshmark. Got a pair of Carhartt jeans here. These have a little bit of fading, not too bad, or staining, not too bad. Those sold for $84. Got another Carhartt jacket here for you. That one went for $60. Got a jacket from the American Outdoorsman. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the pictures a little bit closer with you. So it's got some holes there. It's got some light bleach marks. It's got some stains there. It's got a snap here that's missing on that jacket. That one sold for $49. Got another Carhartt one here. Had to show. There are so many of these selling on every platform. That one sold for $55. Got another pair of Carhartt double knee jeans. These just have paint up and down both legs. Those sold for $125. So I want to hear from you. Have you sold items like these? Drop it in the comments and let us know what it is that you have sold that is in this garbage, thrashed condition. And if you're looking for even more keywords that sell, I'm going to link up here to a video where I give you a ton more keywords that buyers are out there shopping for. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will catch you in the next video soon.